Feral Friday is a podcast about dark romance and monster smut. So if you're not down for weird shit, this is not the show for you. Content may include explicit sexual description, explicit language, conversations about human to monster, and monster to monster sexual activities. Masturbation, questionable consent, morally gray ethics, murder out of jealousy, BDSM themes and tropes, fictional pregnancy, violence, emotional gut-wrenching story arcs, and all of the kinks. Oh, and dubious insertion of inanimate objects. We're multicultural, multipolitical, multisexual, multiracial group. We believe in inclusiveness, body positivity, bodily autonomy, and human rights for all. But we also like talking about characters getting railed by monsters and humans alike. Overall, prepare for cackling, tangents, general unhinged commentary. We're probably going to annoy the majority of the general population, but if you don't like it, instead of clutching your pearl necklace, you can just not listen. Okay, thanks, bye! He hadn't been leaving work the nights he'd landed in her tree, she realized. He'd likely been just starting his day, waylaid by the erotic display she provided. Somehow, the thought that he had been on his way to his job when he stopped to watch her was even more mortifying, Grace thought. She wondered if he'd gone to work horny those nights, twisting in need from having watched her. Her fingertips dragged along his silky forearm, following the line of a raised tendon beneath his skin, her cunt pulsing when he shivered against her. Or he had reached completion from his place in the tree? Had he been jerking off as he watched her masturbate? She closed her eyes, biting her lip, trying to envision the scene. She knew who it was now. She knew exactly who to envision. She wondered how he stroked himself, if he used a firm overhand grip or if he used both hands to stimulate his length, a cock she couldn't quite envision, not knowing enough about Mothman anatomy to fill in the blanks on her own. Had he reached a messy climax, spattering the innocent leaves of her tree as he came? Or had he gone to work unfulfilled, his balls aching and full? I wonder if he even has balls. And that was an excerpt from Sweet Berries by C.M. Nascosta. Welcome to episode 3 of Feral Friday Podcast, Unhinged and Unbothered, a podcast where we talk about smut.
Hi, I'm Sarah, and I'm reading A Court of Wings and Ruin by Sarah J. Maas.
Hi, I'm Marie, and I am just finished reading A Lady of Rooksgrave Manor by Kathryn Moon.
Hi, I'm Ivy, and I'm reading Pen Pal by J.T. Gessinger.
Hi, I'm Sarah, and I'm reading Blood Orange by Karina Hall.
Hi, I'm Kitty, and I'm reading The Eagle's Nest by Heart of Aspen.
Hi, I'm Erin, and I'm reading Phantom by Greer Rivers.
Spattering. Battering.
R.I.P. the trees.
Those poor leaves.
Battering.
Oh,
The visual.
The innocent leaves.
The innocent
The trees
leaves.
are the true victim
have you ever
here.
sat under a tree and been dripped on by the sap?
Oh,
Stop.
Stop.
Sarah,
Dripped on by what exactly?
That's the question.
Mothman come.
now you're gonna wonder from here on out: was that Mothman's cum, or was that actually
Is
sap?
it lucky getting shit on
Thank
by
you.
a bird?
I mean,
better
I would
be.
hope that would be. Yeah.
If it makes you feel better about getting random cum on you from a tree.
It's
God, I hate
Cloud
when
shape of water.
I hate when I'm taking a walk and I just get hit by cum.
Awful.
Oh, yeah, that's the worst.
Speaking of getting hit by cum, I'd like to bring us into the top of this episode where we go over our oopsies. Because nothing says oopsies like getting spattered like an innocent leaf
Nothing.
with cum. I only have a few oopsies. In the last episode, I talked about Predator 2 being in New York. For it to be City Slickers, it's actually LA. I was wrong.
The other New York.
Yep, the other New York, LA. I also, this is the most recent oopsies. As we were beginning to record, I started to say that this cold open wasn't graphic, and then immediately said I lied. And my last oopsies is that this whole time, we're in another Discord and we do a witch swap essentially. And Heidi made me a custom smut heathens creativity oil. And I have been using it this entire time. And every single time I see it on my desk and I black out because we were talking about dicks and not mention Heidi. I love it. It smells delicious. This is my own. It says smut heathens oil for those sensual nights in.
Well, if this isn't a sensual night
It's
in,
definitely Heidi, not Hannah.
Or Helen.
It's definitely Heidi and not Hannah.
Or Helen.
Or
I'm
Helen.
so
Yep.
sorry.
Helen,
So
sorry, Helen
Heidi.
is
That was a
oil.
really bad day for Kitty. Let's just be honest.
And that wraps up my oopsies.
You're
but I'm not alone
not.
this time in
So
oopsies.
2 weeks ago, Ivy and I were talking about, anything you can think of. There's porn of it on the internet, and we said that was called Rule 32, but we were wrong. It's actually Rule 34. So sorry to disappoint everyone. I'm not
how
a numbers
dare
girl,
you?
so you really
The
can't hold it against me,
audacity.
please.
You guys are
and
so
make-
dumb.
I am that dumb.
That wraps up the Oopsie Corner.
Hey, that's not so
That
bad.
wraps up the.
That's pretty good.
Not so bad.
Listen,
Speaking
listen, we're hot. We don't
No.
have to be smart.
So some of us have read Sweet Berries.
Mhm.
Some of us have not.
Most of us?
Most of us,
I've read it.
yes. For those who haven't, I think it's just Kitty and Ivy. Are you guys the only two?
Correct.
All right. What do you think Mothman's dick looks like based on this description?
Are you asking us because we haven't read it?
Yes.
I hope it has a knot.
Shocked. Sorry to disappoint.
Oh, he doesn't.
So, I'm actually thinking of this cursed, the animals that have dicks that, corkscrew
Like
out,
ducks?
and they,
Like
yeah,
dogs?
for some reason, I'm not
Platypus?
sure, I don't know. I actually try not to look up animal dicks.
Don't Google it. Please don't Google it.
Knock, knock, knock.
Do
Do not
FBI.
look up. Oh my god, platypus and what is it? A mole. Those two.
Oh.
Mole.
Yeah,
God.
I try to not make it a habit to fill my Google search with pictures of animal dicks because the only
Animal
computer the only computer that I have is my work laptop.
Here, I'm over here searching them on my work laptop.
Oh yeah,
Same.
I do that too.
I'm like, what's
Yeah.
an incognito tab?
Someone has always searched
But
something
that's what
worse than you.
that's
It
what
is
I'm
that.
picturing is a dick that corkscrews out and just elongates. And I don't know why.
So, I would say the combination of you guys aren't wrong.
Oh.
It's definitely
okay.
it doesn't have a knot, but it's definitely
Is it
tapered.
nubby? Oh, tapered.
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 And all right, we've got Sarah who's demonstrating.
Oh,
Got a little-
We've got this is the original obsession with the cloaca. This is it. There's a slit
Yeah.
and it has to be teased out and it's quite wet.
Mm.
And it's got
Very
to
well lubricated.
right out. That's how it comes out.
Okay.
But the thing is, this is I would say there's something about CM Nascosta books. This is where all the buckets started because the first book of the series is Morning Glory Milking Farm.
Yeah.
Yes, which is about a minotaur, which is quite literally buckets. The whole thing's around buckets of cum.
Literally
All buckets. This book also is buckets because apparently Mothman gets, and I wouldn't say he's knotted, he gets stuck and there's so much fucking cum everywhere and he levitates off of the bed. There's a lot of I want to say like an ant.
She goes with
She
him.
goes with him. Yeah, she's attached up off
Okay.
the bed.
Mm-hmm.
He's got anteater mouth tongue situation.
He has
going on.
what?
Like a
I have
hummingbird.
so many
Hate
questions
that.
about
What?
this.
Like a hummingbird,
Like-
yeah.
Like it's really long and thin and just
And
comes out.
thin.
Think fruit by the
Which,
foot.
like, thinking about making out with that is
Yeah.
vile. Like, that is not sexy. I am not
But there
turned on.
was I will give them the advantage of when like there's obviously a peeping Tom scenario here where Mothman's in the window coming all over the innocent leaves. He's got this tongue, so when he does finally get his balls up together to creep into this person's house, he cannot quite get in the bed, so he's just going in for the clit, just
My understanding
puts his
Oh.
was
imitation.
that he
Yeah,
was
what was that?
still in the
You
tree.
are not convincing me to read this book.
Yeah.
The best part is, so he's so crazy. He's actually, I would say, out of most of the books I've read in general, I think this version of Mothman is the most socially anxious male main character I've
He
ever
is a
read about.
moth.
Which is
Yeah.
why I couldn't pair the art on the cover
Yes.
with the character, because the art in the cover, he's like
Mhm.
Adonis. And then the character is a stuttering,
And have you never seen
bumbling fool
a like
when he talks
He's
to her.
he's like a research
he's like a built
scientist.
nerd.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
He's a built nerd, but all I can
Right.
think about is like also the pocket protector. Because in my head, he should probably have the same body shape as I'm gonna see if I can get this right the first time. Matthew Gray Goobler.
Oh
Like
no.
that's the body type I'm imagining based on the personality. That's the body type I'd match this Mothman to. And I keep forgetting Mothman's actual name in this book because I feel like all the times I want to call Mothman Idris Cold, but that's like true to real life Mothman lore, which is not correct.
I don't remember what his name
It
was.
is. Wow, they only mention her name. Her name's Grace.
Wow.
Let's see.
So he doesn't have a
Grace.
name?
He does.
He does. He
Oh.
does. He introduces himself.
Oh.
I actually have a pressing question about Mothman.
I'm ready.
How does he feel about lamps?
Loves him.
Loves him. His name is Merrick.
Loves
yeah,
him.
That's
Merrick.
it.
Merrick.
Merrick.
Oh,
Merrick.
yes, because I remember when you all were talking about it in the fucking Discord, and all I could picture in my head was Merrick Garland,
Yes.
the judge.
That's hot.
No.
So
Daddy
turned
Merrick.
on by this character.
He's got a bit of a hook nose too. He looks a bit moth-like.
Interesting.
I could do something with this.
Forgive us, Your
I
Honor.
liked his little twitchies.
Sorry, internet.
Yes.
I'm
His little
gonna
twitchy
also.
antennas.
Yeah, I'm looking at the cover on Goodreads right now, and just like Grace is on point. Sure, I was very confused. So this is the second time I've read this book. I read this book first quite some time ago. We're gonna talk about how long ago I read Lady of Rooksgrave later on in the episode, but I think just there's a part where there's also it kind of dips into the other world because there's a minotaur that's featured in the first
Mhm.
book, and then he shows up in the second because he can't get a date. And then I do really wish that CM just wrote the werewolf book better. There's so much internal monologue. Just let them fuck. It's a
Yeah.
werewolf. The door is wide open. That's what we want. Man, I'm trying to find.
I'm not gonna lie, if they're not fucking in the first 30%, I'm losing interest.
That's fair. I read this November 8th, 2022.
That wasn't
Oh, that
so
was
long
a
ago.
year
It wasn't
That was
that
like
long
almost a year
ago.
ago to the day.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
Huh.
Mm-hmm.
I
Shit.
thought you were gonna be like, I read this 7 years ago and I still remember
Well,
it.
a year ago is a long time.
I mean, especially in the amount of
My
reading
brain?
that we do, like that's a long time ago.
It is a long time ago.
Yeah.
It really is.
That's like thousands of orgasms ago.
Yeah. Yeah, hopefully. I'd hope that for
Like
everyone.
thousands? I forget that you're young.
Thousands. Oh, and I almost forgot the one part. I'm looking at a quote that's also included in this Synops.
Synopsis?
Synopsis.
Thank you. You are
Mhm.
all so smart and beautiful. There is a texture to Mothman's body.
He's
Um,
velvety.
Ooh, is it like feathers?
but you're just too damn fluffy to resist. He smoothed the halo of frizz
Fluffy.
back off of her face, tilting her chin with a volutinous hand. Whew. There's part of me, some of the description, I'm like, is he svelte and velvet and also sinewy?
He's more of a moth than a man, I feel like.
Yes.
Okay.
Out of the Mothman, he's more like she describes his legs as being like little moth legs.
Little
Stop.
moth
I
legs.
mean, better than that. But the visual is the little
Oh my
moth legs.
So then would he have
There's
6?
not
Do you
a
think-
ton of fan art either.
Wouldn't he have 6 legs?
Do you think he was a caterpillar before he was Mothman?
No.
So you
I
think
mean,
he was born
that's
Mothman?
puberty.
Like, do you think he was born a man, or do you think he was born a caterpillar?
Or was he just born a moth and then became a man?
Like a
Oh.
moth baby?
I don't think we're high enough to answer this question.
That is a very evolutionary question.
Thinking too
I'm
hard
trying
about
to
it.
follow it. That, and I gotta say, having been someone who has done work on a farm, the rancid vomit smell that some of these berries baking in a car would create, that did
Disgusting.
also. And great. I gave this book a 4 stars. I thought he was cute. He's a very weird dude. I was like into it, but the vomit smell. If anyone listening has ever worked on a farm or helped with a CSA share, hot berries smell like puke.
Yeah, no thank you.
Just
No.
especially just for too long, overripe. There's a point where in like overripe fruit, that's
Or
things
just
like
like
when people
the gnats.
Yeah.
gnats, yes.
Yeah.
Ugh.
But I don't know if the gnats are people in Camber Creek.
The Mothman.
There's
The Mothman's a
Mothman, there's
person.
minotaurs,
I've killed a
there's
lot of people
orcs,
then.
there's yeah, no, that part didn't get me. I still really like this book, but the vomit.
I thought it was a cute book. It
Yeah.
did not turn
One of
me
my
on in
favorite
any way,
non-smutty
shape, or form.
parts of the book was in the grocery store, and there's the vampire couple that are shopping for their dinner party for food,
Yes.
even though they don't eat food, but they're trying to impress the other vampires who also don't eat food.
Mhm. I will say the whole excluding the werewolf book, which you do get to see more of the town. I love this little town
Yes.
that they've created.
It's very Gilmore Girls-esque.
It's so
Mm.
it is because
I
I
love
read
that.
Girls Weekend. It just ended. I think I might try to reread it at a different time, also by CM. I read it the first time. It's about three gal pals go away, and they're gal pals in the sense that they are a half elf and a dwarf and something else, and they go to a nudist colony that is ran by orcs.
Oh, I've seen
I
this
think
book.
it's
I haven't read it
I
though.
read it the first time and I didn't like it, but I think I might have. We recently were talking about having palate cleansers between books we really like, because otherwise you're reading the next book, wanting it to live up to the expectations of the one you just finished. Because I think we're all going through that with Lady of Rooksgrave for the most part.
Yes.
I think I'm gonna retry Girls Weekend because there are a lot of things about it I really liked, and there's more than one, but it takes place as a like a suburban outside town to Cambric Creek, and then there's quite a few other ones because it wraps up with a book called Parties, and I think the Marble Marquis is also in the same world. I hope
Interesting.
so. Oh, and a Blue Ribbon Romance, which is
Is that a counting
apparently a
fair?
1 point. Wow, I didn't know about this one. Blue Ribbon Romance is a 1.5 to Morning Glory Milking Farm.
Mm.
Okay, I was going to say that's got to be
I might
Minotaurs.
follow up with this one. I'm taking notes on this now because I love for as silly as if anyone ends up reading Morning Glory Milking Farm after this, it'll be up in the book book reels. The cover is fucking bonkers.
Ridiculous.
I think doesn't that one have 2 covers? I feel like the
Oh,
original cover to
maybe.
that book was even like more crazy than the current one.
The
Wait,
one
I
I'm
know where
looking
I
at
can
is
find
very
it.
much like classic corset ripper
Mm-hmm.
style, like
Yes.
romance. I think there was another one that had
There
actual
was. Oh,
buckets.
okay, wait. I'll send it in the chat. I found it. This is the one that the first time I heard about this book, I was like, why would I want to read? Like, what is this? Because it is not the same vibe as the new cover at all. Hold on. Let me get there. This is what the
Yep.
original cover
Okay,
looks
it's
like.
not
What
buckets.
the?
Oh my god.
And like, I think it was
That's
That's
just
just like
Sammy was
that's a
like,
bottle.
you have to read this book. And I was like, no. I was like, I definitely judge
what?
books by their cover. And
That's
no,
terrifying.
isn't it? So then when the
I was
new
like,
cover came out, I was like, okay, I'll
I had
try.
the
But I haven't
same.
gotten to it
So it
yet.
was my friend Kate who told me to read Morning Glory Milking Farm, and she was just like, no, like read it, like trust me. I was just like, and then I read it. I mean, honestly, all right, that was an exaggeration. I was like, yeah, sure. I wasn't that hesitant. And Kate's review and what Kate had said to me was, wait, but this was actually really pretty of a love story.
Oh.
And it is.
Aw.
Sure, there's actual buckets,
Yeah.
but it was actually really cute. And I really liked it a lot.
That cover reminds me of the meme, graphic design is my passion.
It
Yes,
is. It
for
really
sure.
is. I might, you know what? I'm gonna make sure I use this cover for the book reels. I'm gonna
I'm
Can you
sure
do
try
CM
that.
will
both
really
Yeah.
appreciate that.
side by
I can do
side?
both. Yeah, how about that? I'll do both. I'll make that note right now. Um, but speaking of books we really, really
Oh
liked.
yeah.
Yeah,
Ooh,
we're
Yeah, can we
ready.
move on to
so
Rooksgrave
This
ready.
is
because
the
we gotta
book.
talk
So
about
it's
it.
The Lady of Rooksgrave Manor. It is one of 3 by Kathryn Moon. I have been screaming about this. I am so happy everyone's read it. It's made me very happy that everyone's read it. Um, I originally read this in September of 2022. So
Okay.
just over a year ago. Like 5 stars, 5 diamonds. I blew through the whole series. Um, tell me how much you guys love it and how much you
Oh my
think it.
Oh
god.
my gosh.
Oh my god.
So
I
I think we
loved
should go
it.
over our
My husband
oh
loves
What?
it too.
lucky
Do you
husband.
Mine
I said
too.
my husband loves
Mine
it too.
does too.
Well, he didn't read it.
He got
He
to
did not read it.
experience the effects of said book, the side effects.
The side
Byproduct.
effects.
Mine
Yeah, the
said,
byproduct.
mine goes,
Yes.
so what monster made you horny? And I said, don't ask questions. Just
Yeah,
If
accept
you don't
it.
want to know the answer, it's fine. Yeah, right.
There were
Seniors?
many.
There was a
There were
lot.
many.
yeah.
There's a lot of good stuff in this book.
We've
So much.
started to avoid the
And
Yes,
that's
yeah.
why we
why did
love
you
it.
wake me up in the middle of the night question.
Mm-hmm.
We're now learning to shut up and enjoy.
Just don't ask questions. Just
It's fine.
Just shut up and let me wake you up,
Fine.
and that's it, and we're good.
And then it's
Don't ask
fine.
additional questions. I'm not going to tell you about the troll that stole my heart. I'm not going to tell you any of it. You're going to listen to me say it when you listen to this with me to edit it, but he knows better.
Yeah.
Until you're calling out the monster's name instead of your partner's.
No. I mean, they're all interchangeable.
Okay.
What?
Which,
Thank you.
speaking of the monsters and their names, how hi, I'm Sarah. I'm a dummy. How do we say August? Is it Augusta?
August.
August?
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 or August?
August?
I don't know. I was
August.
saying it with
I'm sure you
because
can all
I think
probably
he's
say August.
isn't he
Augie.
French?
Yeah.
He is.
Augie.
So technically it should
He
be
is
August.
French.
Agu-
I would
okay.
not say I have a type,
I was
but
putting an
August.
E on the end, like Auguste.
It has an
see?
E.
I was like
I was putting an E
Auguste,
too.
like a E you can hear on the end, but I don't know. I didn't know either how to say it. I don't know. Yeah.
Okay, that makes me feel better.
You just go
'Cause the whole time I
Aki
was
every
like,
time you see the name.
Augusta.
He is my favorite though.
Mine too.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, hell yeah.
Either for me
Yes.
actually it was he was in first place and then Mr. Tanner. And then yeah. Those are my top two. Ezra was last.
Really?
I could not with
Ezra.
Ezra. I
Oh
could
my
not.
gosh.
Ezra's my favorite.
Ezra?
I feel
Amon.
personally attacked.
Amon was
No,
last.
Aaron, Ezra and Mr. Tanner tie for my top favorites.
Oh man, no, I could leave everyone else behind. It was just Ezra.
Are you
could-
serious?
I like the
Yep.
vampire.
I also just listened to the pronunciation of
Oh,
that name. It's
yeah.
Auguste.
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 That makes sense.
Auguste.
Auguste.
Okay.
Oh, ho, ho.
Okay.
Crunchy spicy capitan.
Oh my god.
Auguste.
Aaron,
Um,
why is Ezra your favorite?
Ezra's my favorite because I imagine that. So I think it's really just genetic for me. Let's start there. He's Irish.
He's Irish.
I'm not Irish, but I grew up in the Boston area, and I have tried very hard, other than the blooper reel, to not let it show that I'm from deeply seated Boston area in Massachusetts in the United States, and it reminds me of every guy I really should have stayed away from in Southie and Dorchester. It has that awful.
I mean, he's like the one like
Yeah, he's the
real
one real
guy.
dude.
Yes.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say
You
that's
know.
why I like him. I think we'll go into the favorite scenes, but part of my favorite scene with Ezra is the fact that you don't know where he is.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm.
and
Unless he
Right.
concentrates.
Oh, it's
unless
so
he
good.
concentrates, which is
Mhm.
fine, but I think that definitely speaks to something Katie and I have talked about before, that I'm a very Aelin like
Mm.
human being. Like if there was literary character, I would be Aelin, unfortunately.
That's not
So Ezra
unfortunate.
speaks
Okay,
my
maybe a
loved
little.
ones, yeah.
Maybe a little. A little.
when everyone else reads Throne of Glass, or if any of our listeners have listened to read or listened to Throne of Glass, you'll now understand what particular kind of asshole I am. But Ezra just really feeds my soul with that.
Yeah.
I want to know what everyone else's
Yeah.
favorites, though. Other than if it's not just Tanner and
Well,
Auguste.
Ezra for me too, though, for the same reasons, like the
Auguste.
invisibility aspect. Like that's so hot. Like, but
Yeah.
also like on a non-smutty level, like he was the only
Yeah.
one that like got her, like on an emotional level.
Yes.
So, and because of that he
Yeah.
knew like
Right.
what she wanted sexually too. Like he could connect with her
Yeah.
emotionally, which like obviously helps on the sex side. But I was like, you kinky
I think
devil.
he's the only one that joked with her
Yeah,
too.
like he gave her
Like
that,
that would actually like
Mm.
press her
Yes.
buttons and kind of push her around. Not, I don't want to say he definitely didn't push her around, but he
he had like the joking.
was trying to just
Yeah. He didn't like treat her like
Yeah,
a
right,
precious
not
like
judge
piece of glass or
kinda
anything.
stuff.
Yeah.
So
no, not at all.
Kitty's face right now.
yeah. But then like, oh,
Fine,
Mr.
it's
Tanner.
fine.
Oh,
It's fine.
Mr.
Okay,
Tanner.
Mr.
All right, yeah. Tell me the rest. I have my one single. Everyone is probably tied for other
Yeah.
ones, but nope. It's just Aaron and Ezra to the end.
Yep. No, Mr. Tanner.
Only 8 letters between us.
Because I like the monster strong side of men. I can't help it.
Yeah.
But then he's also
Well, and-
soft because he's like very protective of
He
her and
is.
like, oh, you're like, I can fix that bad boy.
Right. Well, and I love
I
how
like the difference of I can fix him, and over here I'm like, no, we're gonna make each other worse.
Dear Lord. I love how they like play off each other though, Mr. Tanner and whatever the female main
Jonathan.
character's name is.
Oh.
Esther.
What is her name?
Esther?
Oh my god.
Esther.
I finished this like
Esther,
a week
thank you.
ago.
Oh my
I've read
God.
like 5 other books. I can't be
2 days ago.
can't
2
be
days
relied
ago.
upon to
I was
remember
like, shit, what's
things
her
like
name?
that. Esther. I love how Esther and Mr. Tanner, I love their relationship and how she just like sees him and he like, is big and scary and whatever, but she's just like so no nonsense and she's like, no, I want you, like show me what you look like. Like it's just so
Yes,
good. Their dynamic
absolutely.
is
I think that's
so
the
fun.
best part of reverse harem is you find that like
Ah,
it's you're not looking for the whatchamacallit, the perfect dude.
mhm.
You get the perfect man. It just takes 8 of them.
Yes. Okay, in the book I just read, In the
And
book I
that's
just read
valid.
Deceived by the Gargoyles, because I finished that, Aaron. Yeah, this morning. And that's literally like what the whole point of like the book is, like the whole story. Like the FMC has a list and the guys like convince her no one person is going to be your whole list, but we can be your whole list. Like our little triad. It was
It's
so
very
cute. I
good.
loved it. It was
I love that
good.
you read that
I
next.
know.
I don't
I
think
did.
I have that marked in my Goodreads, which I went to go look. I was like, I've read this.
Yeah.
And none of them are marked down, and I'm upset with
Except
myself, which probably means I read them between the hours of 1 a.m. and 4 a.m. That's usually how I know when I've read them.
it is the
Whoops, I'll
second book
just
in a
reread them.
series though, which I didn't know until the end when I was reading the author's
It's
note, but it's
fine.
So I think we should go back. We had some like questions that we are all going to answer. So I think we
Yes.
should go back to the beginning. So, what was everyone's initial impression going into this
Excited.
book?
Immediately into it.
I was very intrigued off the bat because of what I had already heard.
Yes. Yes.
Well, it just launched right into it, and yeah, and like she's a
I
horny
Big
love
dog,
it.
horn
like
dog.
I
Love
love
it.
it.
and from page one, and I
Love
was
it.
like, all right, I'm in.
Yeah.
I
And
can't
her
wait.
curiosity.
I can't wait until Ivy reads it because I think this is
Oh,
everything that you've been
It's relatable.
wanting
you're
because
gonna
it's
love it,
literally
Ivy.
like immediately right out the gate, like, oh,
Yes.
Yeah.
And
yep,
every
and just
It's like
rewardingly,
every other
every single
paragraph.
chapter
you're a
picks
And
up a
horny
good.
tip.
girl.
Yeah.
Here's a treat.
Yes.
You're a horny girl. Here's a treat.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Dang.
it is so insanely sex positive in the best way possible. Like
Yes.
it is.
So out of the
It was
6
so
of us, aside
yeah.
from Aaron, I was the first one to read it. And I just read it because it was on our bingo card for the month. And I was like, all right, last one, let's go. Thinking nothing of it.
Can't wait.
But like first
Mhm.
chapter, I was like, is this motherfucker gonna sex traffic her? I
Right?
was mad. So like initially
Right?
I was pissed. I was like, there's a power dynamic here. This guy is educated. He's a doctor. She is a maid. Like she is poor. Like she's uneducated. Like this is not okay. I was so upset. So upset.
I would let Dr. Tanner's
And then like it progressed and then
do
I
that.
like was fine. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like everything's fine. But I was like, there was a moment I was like, I don't know if I can read this. Like this poor
Yeah.
girl is about to be put into a brothel and like be ruined.
But she wants
Yeah,
to be
no,
in
I
the
know.
brothel.
I
She
know.
But no,
wants
like
to
that was like
be
A
my
little
first
bit.
initial reaction just starting it because I didn't know what it was about. But I was just like, I'm gonna
Mm.
kill a motherfucker.
Yeah. Yeah.
I also like the concept of the
Yes.
brothel,
Mm.
how it is extremely different
Yes.
to how normally brothels are like
Yeah.
portrayed. Where like this time she gets a choice. It is her choice at the end of the day,
Mm.
and if she wants to, great, and she doesn't.
The
Mhm.
matches
Yes.
are made
Yeah.
And not
consciously.
just her, you see a bunch of other people in the house having
Mhm.
healthy relationships that are like all completely different with different dynamics, X, Y, and Z,
Yeah.
minus one person
I was gonna say
who
not all of them
is
are
Oh,
healthy, but
not
was it
all.
Mary?
yeah.
But
Fuck
Mary.
fully
Fuck her.
consensual.
Yeah.
Fully
Yeah.
consensual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck her.
Yeah.
But it's addressed later. And I think also in a way, even though if you haven't read it, Mary's kind of a bitch. Mary
Yeah.
is also,
Yeah.
in a way,
She
though,
sucks.
making her own way
Yes.
Well, sure.
in
Oh.
Yeah.
still being a boss ass bitch.
Yeah.
Is she doing it really rudely? Yeah. She's still
Yeah.
bitch,
Right.
but she's still getting her money.
She's getting
She
paid
is.
for a
Yeah.
service,
And that's what
she's
matters to
like,
her.
I'm gonna fucking
Mhm.
milk this
Yeah.
until I can't anymore.
Milk
because
it, huh?
That's what I want to do.
Milk it,
Milk and
huh?
fun.
Yeah.
My initial reactions to this book,
And it all
I
circles
first of all
back.
was just like, why do I need to read this? I was a little traumatized probably from Aaron's other picks last month, and I was just like, I hadn't even looked at the cover. I just saw the title, and I was just like, I'm not convinced. And then Sarah was in my DMs like, no, you need to read this. It is reverse harem. So I was like, okay.
I had started talking about
Okay.
this in August of this year.
I
That's when I first
literally
started. Like, I was like,
do not
just
remember that at all.
just a little. I went back and looked. I'm like, it's August because I was trying to get Sammy to hype it up with me.
I knew how to hook
You guys
Kitty
just
though.
weren't ready yet. We
We
needed to warm
weren't.
you all
Yep.
up.
I knew how to
Well-
hook Kitty though. I was like, "Come on, Kitty, it's reverse
Yeah.
That's
harem," and
fair.
she's like,
Mhm.
"Oh."
Oh,
And you don't know it's
Yeah,
reverse harem
that
for
is
the
kind of a
first,
Yeah,
spoiler.
first
I don't know what
half.
It doesn't
Sorry,
like
spoiler.
it doesn't.
Oops.
Yeah, it doesn't
I mean,
really like
sorry.
kick off because you're like, it's a brothel, so of course you're gonna be like
Yeah.
wanking lots of
It's.
dudes.
I think you think
Right.
it's gonna be a choosing situation.
Mhm.
But I will say, like, I'm sure a lot of you are moving on to the second book because I
Hell
made the
yeah.
very controversial statement.
Absolutely.
The second book is my favorite.
Ugh,
Um,
Aaron.
so
Kill
we get
me.
Buckle up.
a glimpse of the second book in the first book, and is when they go to a theater sex
Ooh.
nightclub. It takes place amongst the actors who are putting together these very particular shows.
This is a good segue
Amazing.
into what everyone's favorite scene from this book was.
Yes.
Because apparently most of us agree as well.
The
No.
whole
scene.
theater.
I have
I
a
really
different
like
one.
that theater scene.
Let's hear a different one. Okay. Let's hear Aaron and Sarah.
Okay, I will agree that the
One's
theater
first.
scene
Take it
is
away.
like hot as fuck.
It is.
But there is a little small scene that like just like fucked me up really good.
I wonder if we have the same one.
And
then.
it is
You both were
with
Ezra people.
Ezra and Booker in, I want to say it's either the library or the salon.
Oh,
But
okay.
We have a
Is
no,
that when
nobody's
everybody's watching?
watching. But
Is it
essentially,
when?
Okay.
Ezra
Okay, you go.
puts Esther over the couch with like her dress flipped up and says, "The next person who walks in the door, you have to beg them to fuck you."
Yeah.
And
yeah.
she's
Yeah,
like, "But what
That
if
one
it's
was
one of the
good.
other
What if
men in the
different
house?" And like, it's like degrading.
the anticipation.
I was like, "Oh fuck!" Like, and that was the one that I was reading at the salon, getting my hair done, and I had to go get a Bloody Mary afterwards because I was like sweating. I was like, "Oh."
Sliding
Like,
off the seat.
My husband
Oh,
was like getting his
God.
hair done next to me. He's like,
Oh,
"You okay?" I'm
no.
like, I'm fine. I'm fine.
I have a different Ezra one. I did like that.
Because they started in a closet,
But,
just her and Ezra was invisible. So like, if she got caught, she
Yes.
just would have been smushed.
Well, now I'm thinking. I think my scene is the lead up to that. scene.
Okay.
So mine's about. So just to start, I was really anxious writing these notes last night because I thought I had fever dream, my favorite scene. And there was a point when I was like going through and trying to find it that I was like, oh my God, this never happened. I dreamt this. Mine is like about 76% in, and it's like just kind of gently mentioned like as the lead up. And now I'm like actually think it's the lead up to Sarah's scene. It's when Ezra's under the breakfast table while she's trying to have a conversation,
Oh.
eating her out.
Yes.
Mhm.
And then like getting her like trying to keep her quiet in the hallway.
Yes. It's
Yeah.
like literally. Yeah.
And people
yes.
are like, all right,
Yes.
yeah, I think it's the lead up now that I'm really
Yeah.
thinking about it to Sarah's scene, but everyone's outside, they can't see you. You better shut the fuck up or they're gonna know.
Yes.
And trying to have a conversation at breakfast while she's just absolutely getting rattled.
Yeah. And in the hallway, they're
Which,
talking about her because she's supposed to go shopping with them.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
they're waiting on her.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm. Oh
Yep,
my
nope,
God.
that was my favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
I know which one.
Yeah.
I am excited. Okay, I'm very I know now I'm talking a big game about the second book, but the fact that you guys loved the theater makes me so amped for you to read the second book.
Yes.
I know.
How could you not?
Yeah.
It's like the
And
pivotal
like there was
scene.
so much that
Like-
happened at the theater to begin with. Like there was like so many scenes within
Oh my
that.
god.
Like just even them up in the box, like that was hot.
Yep.
And then
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Oh my god.
A
When
goose-
Jonathan
A
is
goose
like,
is a
is
dirty freak.
this
He's a dirty
bed's
freak.
gonna smell like her for
Right?
eternity. I'm
I
like,
know that's the best part. Oh my god.
and like talking about like taking her corset off and I just like the whole
Yeah.
thing just like and then
Ooh.
but then we like get down to the stage and my God, the introduction of electroplay, which should have been
Sounds
a
terrible.
content
Sounds
warning
Sounds a little
for
terrible.
sure.
scary.
Like that is never something that I have
Please
ever
don't hurt
been
me.
interested in.
Like,
But reading that scene, I was like,
don't shock my clit. Don't do it.
it's like that meme
Marina,
that's
that's
like
not
the
it.
immediate
Don't,
no
please-
and then the yes and
please
then the
don't.
maybe I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. But the whole just like
The
being on the stage.
Yeah, on the
and, yeah.
You guys are gonna love the second book.
Oh my
There is
God.
like Kathryn Moon does such a good job of every flavor. This is freaking Baskin Robbins. Every flavor, whatever you
Seriously.
want. Like they cover all of it, especially
Oh
with the
my
show aspect. Like they cover everything.
Yeah.
And the plot is a good like minor
I
underlining
can't
thing.
wait.
Yeah.
Connects it all together.
Well,
The
she
third
does
one,
a
like I
good
said,
job
is
with like
okay,
the plot to
but
give you time to cool off. You're like, okay,
yes.
like I can focus on the plot for a few minutes, and then like
And the plot's exciting
Yes,
enough.
yes.
I do think like I wasn't upset with
Right.
how the entire series ended. I just was upset that there was more like the ratio was off to my to my taste.
Mm.
Like I think she did a great writing. Like I thought it was good words. Good words.
Yeah.
Liked it a lot.
I
Great
have a
writing, good
question.
words.
The
What, Marie?
second and third book, does it have to do also with what's his name? Bersha?
Yes.
Bersha?
Mhm.
So Bersha
Okay.
is the
We get more.
the overarching big bad.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
it's like
okay.
a easy to hate big bad,
Mm-hmm.
like sex trafficking,
Like legitimately.
abuse,
Yeah.
like hurting
Limits,
people.
I mean,
Right.
eating a
It's very
vampire
easy to
heart
hate Bersha.
Yeah.
just because
Yeah.
to just
Yeah.
torture.
Well, he was
A
the
goose?
king of, was it
Something of a goose.
Oh,
Gomorrah.
yeah, Gomorrah,
A goose?
Sodom and Gomorrah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's good. All right. I am surprised no one picked Amon.
Okay.
Oh, he was my least favorite
Really?
he
Okay.
ranked,
Yeah.
he ranked in the middle for me. I love
Okay.
Booker, but Booker and Ezra were at the bottom, and Eamon was in the middle, and then August and Dr. Tanner / Jonathan.
I think
he's a little bit too possessive.
but I liked his scene in the dining room. That was
Yes.
with the
Yes.
chains. That
Yeah.
was also good.
yeah.
But also it seemed a little extreme too.
I think it was to balance out
It was
like
someone
someone had to keep them safe.
And
That was how I took it.
I guess.
I'm surprised that
I was disappointed with Booker.
you were disappointed.
That's the only one. I was so
He was a little boring.
like this. Granted, now I've read this twice.
Mm-hmm.
Booker in both times, I wanted there to be this big like you've earned a soul. Like I wanted I wanted the
Right.
same like kind heart.
'Cause she teases
she
that.
does. Yes.
Like 7
There's like that
times.
kind-hearted, like he's definitely because I feel like there's the generic like when you have a reverse harem, there is the overly sexy guy,
Mm-hmm.
there is the brooding guy,
Mhm.
there's someone who's super flirty and fun, and then you have the cinnamon roll, and then there's usually extras there. I feel like there's a core like 4 different kinds of guys you get with a reverse harem, and he fit that really tender, kind, loving, like cinnamon roll. Like I think they were trying to get it with August and a little bit with Jonathan there.
Oh, you think that August was the cinnamon roll?
I think that like it was too blendy. Like I
Yeah.
wanted Booker to be the real cinnamon roll, but he
Personality.
needed more personality and a little bit more. I want to say girth, but that's not the right word.
What I
Made of
really
marble.
need,
Made of marble.
Ooh.
I need Booker
He's a
fan art.
golem.
'Cause What
He
the
looks
fuck
like
does he
Lurch.
look
I
like?
just
Yeah.
imagine like one of those
To me, he looks like
statues,
Lurch
like the David.
from the Addams Family.
No.
Yes. Agreed.
Because he's
But
made
then
of
he makes himself
granite.
But
into a
so can
chair on
Lurch.
several
Like,
occasions. What?
He just has blocky arms.
He doesn't
and
make himself
blocky
into a
legs,
chair.
He
so
just-
he just becomes a
He
chair.
just, like-
you know. Yeah.
He's just a big man that can like put her in his lap and then
Yeah,
like
yeah.
just hold her. It was a
Yeah.
metaphorical chair.
Oh, I
I
found
also
some
like
All right.
beautiful fan art. I'm going to be sharing this in just a
Okay.
moment. You keep chatting. I'm going to start
Um,
sharing it because there's a couple of them.
the other relationship that I also liked a lot how they interacting between each other is August and
yes, they were
Dr.
so
Jonathan.
cute.
Yes.
I love because that's my
Oh.
other scene that I really liked when she goes
Oh,
and she
after
wakes
he'd
them
been
up.
sleeping.
Yes.
Okay, yeah,
I can dig
absolutely.
that. Yes.
Yeah,
See, I
yeah,
also have a thing for vampires, so
yes.
I know, and he's like, "You, what do you
There's-
call them? Like, you filthy scoundrels or something like that." Like, it's like, I can't believe you did
So
this.
yeah, that scene
Yeah,
was
it's
really
so
good.
cute
yeah.
Oh
and
yeah.
very hot.
All right, so I've got
Mhm.
some here. So I've got a
I
picture
don't know
of
why
Ezra.
Ezra just
I
did
have
not
a
do it for
picture
me.
of August.
A picture of Ezra,
He's
the
smoky.
invisible guy.
Don't worry. I've got.
Smoky.
That Ezra is way
No,
fitter
that's
than the
what
Ezra I
Ezra's
had
supposed
in
to
mind.
look like.
I know.
Oh no,
I
wait.
know,
A goose
actually,
can
Wow,
get
I
it.
can't
more
read.
than I
Never
thought.
mind. Outburst.
Oh, okay. There's Booker. Okay, all right. I found the
Auguste
picture.
is way younger.
This is all like
Um,
formal. It looks like it's like formal fan art or
Mhm.
like commissioned
Yeah.
art. So there's Booker,
That's Booker.
and then who am I missing? Oh,
I imagine August a little
Tanner.
bit
Okay,
more
Tanner.
Yes.
Lestat.
yes.
Not
But
quite
I think
that.
it's hard not to associate Lestat.
I feel like Amon
Okay,
is
all right. There's
too
the last one. There's
skinny.
Dr. Underwood. Okay, we've got it all.
Yeah.
And too young.
Yes.
This picture just reinforces why I don't like him.
I do want a book
I do
about his
think that
sister,
he-
though. I would
don't-
read a book about his sister.
I don't like that.
Yes.
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 Maybe a
Yes.
sapphic
Oh,
one.
Dear
Mhm.
Lord, yes.
Agreed.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Auguste, no. I refute this.
I'm very surprised by some of
And-
these
Oh.
images. I'll be honest.
Booker is way too small. Like, he
A
needs
goose
to
can
be
get
a
it. What?
giant. He has a hat.
Yeah, that's tiny.
He's wearing a hat.
Booker doesn't have a face.
He has a hat. I can't wait till you guys meet Hunter
I
in the
think that's a
next
cop
book.
out.
Speaking like, oh, he has a hat. The most proper
Okay, can we
gentleman.
talk
You'll
about...
meet Hunter. Don't worry.
Oh, Hunter comes out in the second one?
They do.
Because they mention him in this one.
Yes, they all know each other,
Can we
which I
talk
love
about
it.
the epilogue of Lady of Rooksgrave? Because it was so insanely cute. And
Yes.
I just wanted to
Mhm.
die. And then I got very mad when Aaron was like, no, the next book isn't about them. And I was like, what the fuck do you mean it's not about them? I need the rest of the story. I need to see them happily ever after.
No, don't worry.
I mean, I could totally read a whole
my
book
God,
of them in
In Egypt.
wherever they're
yeah.
Yeah.
Egypt. Yes.
Just their, like,
Sorry,
Yep.
spoilers.
normal,
We'll just put
everyday
a
life.
show
Like,
note,
I just
but,
want slice of life. Like, nothing crazy. Or, them
Mhm.
getting the bad guy, blah, 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 whatever. Or just doing
doing it all the
That'd be
time. That's
too.
fine.
So, do they continue to just do it
Yes.
all the time now that they all live together happily ever after, or is it become
I
like
don't
marriage
think
where, like,
Esther
yeah,
would
I don't think she would
stand for
either.
that.
And there's
She
7
would.
of them.
Oh my
Like,
God.
There's a
somebody's gonna be horny
Yeah.
all the time.
yeah. In the third book, I would say the pinnacle scene is much similar
Mhm.
to the parlor at Rooksgrave.
Oh yeah.
But
Okay.
it's the overarching groups from this book, Company of
Oh.
Fiends, and then the third book.
They all get together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's all right.
Also, we have a great nickname for the clit in this book. The little button.
No. That's not the worst.
I had that one highlighted.
But it's certainly not good. It's not good. It's not great. No.
It's not great.
It's not good.
It's early on, so it's when she's a little less
Yeah, she's not as
educated.
confident, I think, in things. Yeah,
Mhm.
and the dirty
She
talk
gets
in this
nuts,
book,
though.
so good. The dirty talk in this book
What?
is so good.
Yes.
Yes, it is. The third one is
Yeah.
Sanctuary with Kings.
So that
Ooh.
It's
was
called what?
That's the last one. Sanctuary with Kings.
Oh,
Okay.
that's not.
What do you think I said?
I
What
thought you
did
said
you think I
cherry with
said?
kinks, and I was like, That
cherry
doesn't
with
really
kinks.
fit the vibe of the rest of the titles at all.
Yep, it's cherry with
Cherry
kinks.
with
That's my
kinks.
new book coming out soon.
I'd love to read
Coming to
it.
nowhere. Yep, cherry with kinks.
Okay.
It's gonna be about like just the most janky, like crushed up maraschino cherry you've ever ever seen.
Of
Of
course.
course.
And a Shirley
In a Shirley
In a
Temple.
virgin Shirley Temple.
Bringing it back.
Ugh. I just
I know.
Sweating.
it's just a mini shout out because of as far as like us making a weird alt flavor romance novel, Ash Raven has been reaching out to us and we love
We
you.
do.
We love you.
Thank you for like just being nice to
Right.
us. We love your books and we can't wait to read more like all of us.
Ah.
So thank you for that. And also telling us we're rude. when one of us, aka me, posts very rude questions on a Monday morning.
Aaron. Maybe we should tell everyone the exact
Fine.
question that you did ask, and then we can all answer.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so the exact questions the question I asked is just for a rude question right now. How is your TBR pile?
What were the options?
That's rude.
The first one was it's dwindling. The second one, it is growing. And the third option was why the fuck would you ask that?
Option number 3, please.
I go with the third.
Everyone voted the third. I think 2 people said it. Their
Yeah.
piles are growing, and I'm like, wow, that's a really honest, mature answer.
I also answered the
wasn't
third.
surprising it.
Like, I don't think TBR piles need to be small. We're not like working on a, you know, they don't need to disappear. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
It's fine. It's part of the decor
Yeah.
at this point.
Yeah.
I do like. I know. Obviously, we're here for the smut.
Yes.
I do love first off, I think we've all talked about how there needs to be a better rating system. There needs to be an official Scoville rating
Yes.
system. Like I need actual peppers and things, and very
Mhm.
clear labeling when it's a clean version or
Yeah.
if it's not. What I think that I wish more people were accepting of, because I hate when like people freak out like that it was fade to black or it was clean version. I'm gonna
Oh.
throw this book in the fire. It's like
You don't need to freak
no,
out about
because
that.
everyone's in their
Yeah.
own place with their like. Granted, I like mine filthy, dirty, disgusting, but if someone else wants a clean version to still enjoy the romance genre, because they very much should
Yeah.
be able to, I do love that they're offering
I
that.
do
That's
too. And
really
like I
nice.
love reading YA. Like I'm very much a mixed bag. Like, I read YA as well as spicy stuff, and
Heck yeah.
it's all a balance. It's all fine. It's like, yeah. But it's like awesome that this author took the time to do that, because I recognize that that's like twice the work. Because you're
Oh
writing
yeah,
2
absolutely. Because you
books.
can't just delete that scene
Right.
out.
Right. Yeah.
It's going to be all this unwanted tension
Mhm.
and then
Right.
nothing, which is not fair because there is obviously other connection happening. I do just laugh. I used to like palate cleanse in between with YA. I still read graphic horror in between as a palate cleanse.
Wow.
And I will say there are times that there's sexual elements in graphic horror. Like a great example is I recently read Hell House, which is the same author as is it I Am Legend? I believe Richard Matheson. Yep, I Am Legend. The book that was made into what? Who was in it?
Will Smith?
Thank you. Yes,
Oh.
save
The
me from
saddest
an
pet
oopsie
death
corner.
ever?
Yep. Yeah, saddest pet death ever. Hell House was great. I loved it. It was put out like before I was born. I'm almost positive. Yeah, 1971. That is before I was
Good
born.
job. Good job.
I like older horror. I grew up with Stephen King. My grandmother has every Stephen King and all
Nice.
signs. She's obsessed. I read
Nice.
Gerald's Game way too young, which is probably why I am the way I am. um
That would explain a
but yeah,
lot.
there is yeah, it does explain out. There's a sexy I don't want to say a sexy scene. There is a sex scene in this, and it's not rape really. And I was just like, ugh, this didn't go here. I want someone to get murdered. That was like my immediate. I was like, no, get it out. Like, no.
Oh.
I want a ghost in its own entrails. I want like a body and a corpse, and I want blood bleeding from the walls. I don't want this.
This is where you and I are opposites,
Look where we are
Erin. We are
now.
complete opposites about this.
I know. Listen, I'm a Slytherin.
I mean,
Based
I am a
on
Slytherin also,
this-
but I can't do horror or thriller, or I'm too much of an anxious baby.
I can't do it in like movie.
Yeah, I can hardly do it in reading.
I can read
like,
it.
I'm fine with like
Oh man, I will say there are times I scream at my house in the middle of the night because my cat's not something
Oh,
over,
yeah.
and I'm so caught up in a book. Middle of the
Oh
night.
yeah. Heck yeah.
It's so bad.
No, but there's some like old horror stories that are really good. That are like really really good. I took my minor was English
Ooh.
lit,
I
so I
love
took
that.
a gothic horror class in university.
I love
Um,
it.
That was a lot of fun. We read a lot of
Mhm.
vampire books because my
Did you
professor
read
liked
Carmela?
vampires. We did. My final was Carmilla, Dracula, and the Vampire. It was like a
I love
comparison
that.
between the three.
Oh my
Amazing
God.
story.
I love it. I think that's if anyone's interested in like the origins of like sapphic horror,
Amazing.
read Carmela. It's the original vampire. It predates Dracula.
Mm.
Dracula.
I'm gonna definitely add that
And
to
it
something
is
to
a
plug.
female
Oh.
vampire.
It is. It's so
It is
good.
the first female vampire story
Yep.
That's
ever
amazing.
written.
First vampire ever. Just well, at least in written stories, but yeah, I like. Oh man, I think what we're gonna start working on too is so like for those listening, we've mentioned some non vaguely other than the reverse harem. We haven't featured a ton of gay, queer, lesbian, sapphic, whatever you want. They're coming, literally and figuratively.
Love, give me all the sapphic.
I know there's a queer one. He was the author. He was a little bit like had a little moment on Book Talk, but then it kind of went away. I love the first book. I just never got around to reading the next one in the series. It's very much like young magical prince
Is it Ben
sent off, like
Alderson?
has to save the kingdom.
He just
It
got
might be.
married,
I gotta
by
look
the
at
way, like this weekend to his husband, and they had like a magical fairy tale
Really?
wedding. The pictures were
Cute.
so cute.
Stop.
I have one of his books actually. Wait, let me see. It should. Oh, it's over there.
Okay, I read Betrayal of
I-
Storms. And it was so good. I'm pretty sure I gave this a 5-star. I am seeing a lot of other I'm gonna make a broad statement. I see a lot of other kind of females giving it 1 because they think they wanted more out of like it, thinking that there's I don't know. I think that a story that is male queer based is not going to give you the same tension as a as
woman,
a male and
sure.
a female yeah. It's definitely different. I really liked it. I really liked
excited.
it. I'm gonna go back and read the rest.
Yeah,
of them because
I
I
have
did really
one
like
of his
that.
books, but I haven't actually read it yet. But he's been on my list for a long time, and he's fun to follow on Instagram or
Yes.
whatever. hmm
I think I couldn't tell you if I did. I'm so happy that he had a really nice
Yeah.
wedding. That makes me very happy for
It was cute.
him. Yeah, but we're don't
It's
worry,
coming.
the queer readers the queer books are coming.
Yeah, because there's more
We
than
just have to I gotta find all
one
the
queer
ones.
person on this pod.
Yeah, the more than the like the hand. Yeah, there are more of us. Don't worry.
It's fine. It's fine.
They're coming. I want to have like I have to go. Like I said, I have books I haven't logged on Goodreads
Oh
that
my
I've just
God,
read.
Erin.
And I know. Like I said, I know exactly what time at night they happen. Yep. I'm working on it.
Okay.
It's always an
Okay.
improvement.
I will
We're gonna get
have
better
to
one
make
day.
my sapphic list of things that I have
Yes.
read for people. So we'll have to start a listy list.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. If anyone's listening and doesn't know what sapphic
Oh.
means,
Women loving women.
I'm like these are all
Comes
like
from
book
the
talk.
Greek
Women,
poet.
yeah, yeah, Sapphos.
Yes. The
Sappos.
sapphic is just
But it's Lady on
Yes.
lady.
And it doesn't erase bi people. So we like it. It's a good word.
They often don't. We like that. Every once in a while, you'll see a book like that, but it usually doesn't do well if like it's very like bisexual
Mhm.
erasure in it. Like usually, it's like something ends up like I feel like in those books you end up having the one of the two females get put to shame and having to denounce men.
Yeah.
That's kind of
Mm.
getting worked out, so don't worry about it. They're like getting rid of that
Which is
theme.
good.
It's
Which is good.
garbage.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's yucky.
So yeah, we've been rambling on for forever. But this is
We have.
us. It is what
Is
we
that
do.
not what we do?
What
I
we
know,
do.
it is what we do.
It is.
I know. Well, granted, these were two very big books that we all loved in
Yeah.
different ways. Obviously, we'll touch on Accompanying Fiends as you guys get to it in our next tangent. We do want to say we're going to be having our regular episodes where we talk about our books that we're reading and probably pick a couple topics, give some plugs, discuss books that we've all read together. And then the in-between shows are going to be tangents. That's going to be a mixed bag. We're going to have different things we do. We're trying things out. It's good not to
Yeah.
get stale.
Mm-hmm.
No one likes a stale
No.
chip.
Mhm.
No one likes a
No.
stale Rangoon.
No one likes a stale Rangoon, let me tell you.
Oh no.
Jesus Christ.
But we do like
But also, like, our
good
tangents
Rangoon.
are very much born out of tangents.
Yeah.
Like,
Definitely.
we come up with them
Mm-hmm.
out of the blue, and it's great.
If we get stuck on an idea or a bad movie
Yes.
and
Yes.
spin out.
Yes.
We'll probably have to cover book talk on a
Oh,
tangent at
God.
some point, but that could be like
Oh,
a whole
God.
thesis statement.
Yeah.
But anyways,
IPB.
Oh, we're doing a whole normal
But-
episode on IPB. Don't even worry.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we'll have a normal one.
Yeah.
with a guest.
Yes, with a guest, a surprise guest. It's gonna be so good.
Yes.
A surprise guest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I think we covered
I
everything
think
on the
so
docket,
too.
Yeah.
Good job, us.
We did. Yay.
Wow.
Yay!
Golf clap.
Yay.
Great for us.
Yay.
Let's go.
Don't forget to tune in next time, guys.
Yep, yep.
Bye.
And bye.
Her fingertips dragged along his silky forearm. And now I'm from New England. All right, no, I got forearm.